Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091 and welcome back to Let's Play Super Danganronpa 2. Last time we left off, I was going over everything regarding the class trials, like, how you set it up, or like, what you can set up your skills, how to get skills, and we actually started the trial, and I was very confused because we have non-stop discussions before. However, I'm just still mixed up because of the Japanese, language and the characters they use in it. Or when I say characters, I mean like the letters and whatnot. I'm not really sure what would be the proper wording for it. And they actually introduced a new gameplay aspect, or a new trial gameplay, which is the counter-argument discussion. And it's fun. I actually like it, but it did get a little frustrating for me. But we're having fun. I'm having fun. Hope you guys are too. So let's go ahead and continue with the trial now. No, the person who brought those goggles to the lodge was undoubtedly the victim, Togami. Undoubtedly? Why? Do you remember that case that Togami was carrying with him during a party? There was a storage case for a set of night vision goggles inside. Well, in other words, we can infer the goggles were inside the case when they were brought into the lodge. Hahaha! Ibuki said infer, a clever word that doesn't fit her at all. That means that someone removed those goggles from inside a case during a power outage. And the only person who could have done that is Togami, who never left its side. I see. If you put it this way, I guess you're right. Well, in that case, that knife probably also came from inside the case, didn't it? If he had night vision goggles in there, it wouldn't be too weird if there was also a knife. No, something is weird. Yes, I guess I am weird, but at a time like this, all I can think about is this evening's hors d'oeuvres. Ew, gross! That was definitely a double entendre, right? Most likely, yes it was. Was the knife also in the case along with the goggles? Well, no, that's impossible. The knife was hidden up before the party even started. There was evidence that proves that. And we have here the packing tape, the night vision goggles, the case, and this evening's hors d'oeuvres. So, it says that was the knife also in the case with the goggles? Well, no, because there was a separate case for that. However, he says the knife was hidden before the party even started. And what shows that is there was packing tape that we found with the green paint. And that green paint, whatever, was also on the knife. There was a piece of packing tape on the underside of the table we found the body under. Packing tape? I'm sure it was used to attach the knife to the table's underside, and thereby hid it from view. So that's why there was a piece of packing tape left over there? Togami was extremely vigilant and careful tonight, but even he didn't think to check under the tables. If I may change the subject for a little while, why was Togami on such a high alert tonight? He brought in not only defense goods, but even those night vision goggles in that case of his. That is certainly excessive for just-in-case scenario. And now that you mention it, so was his confiscation of dangerous items. Subjecting us to such a thorough body check? That's way too much if he was simply being cautious. He must have known. He knew someone was going to try murder tonight. He had premonitions of the murder? No! It can't be! Does he also possess the evil eye? You think so too, don't you, Hinata? Yeah, that's right. I'm sure Togami did know. He knew it was possible a murder will occur. Well, because we found that threatening letter in his or that note in his cottage. So present it. There you go. This proves it. That's what he says there. Everyone, could you take a look at this? And of course it says, watch out, the first murder will occur tonight. It is inevitable. Oi, what's this? Hinata and I found it. It was at Togami's cottage. In all likelihood, this is a threat someone sent to Togami. Who's this someone? No one but Monokuma would write such a stupid threat. It wasn't me. Is that the truth? The only lies I tell are white lies. Well, even that's a lie, isn't it? Regardless of who wrote it, is this threat the reason Togami was so wary? This letter is also probably to blame for Togami suddenly deciding to throw the party. What do you mean? By gathering everyone in a single place, he tried to create a situation where everyone watched each other. That way, whoever sent that threat would be held back, unable to make their move. But that letter was probably just a prank. Nevertheless, Togami declared that there won't be even a single victim. He couldn't just let it go. His strong sense of responsibility forced him to take that threat seriously. Gah, he should have discussed this threat with us when he got it. Well, if he did that, it would just throw us into chaos. I'm sure Togami understood that very well. Then, he decided to tell no one and act alone? His sense of responsibility as a leader became his downfall. It's time to start fooling around. Who the hell wrote that letter? It was the culprit, of course. The culprit. Are they really one of us? I hope not. But who is it? Who here's the culprit who killed Togami? Huh. How about it, cowardly one? Have you at least the courage to step forward right now? Someone who would just give up here wouldn't have murdered someone in the first place. But I still can't believe it. I still can't believe one of us killed Togami. Let's see what she says here. Excuse me, may I ask a small question? What is it, Sonia? I'll apologize for going back to the previous subject, but there is one thing that still worries me about the night vision goggles. If it was Togami who used the goggles, then how was the culprit able to conquer the darkness? I see. If they didn't have the goggles, they couldn't see anything. But in that case, they couldn't have retrieved that knife from under a table and wouldn't be seen by Togami, would they? Even if they had set up some kind of landmark, they wouldn't be able to see it in that darkness. Well, on the contrary, the culprit probably did use a landmark. And it was because of that landmark they were able to retrieve the knife in the darkness. Now, the things here are the choices here are the tablecloth, Togami, the party food, or the glow-in-the-dark paint. The thing about it, using glow-in-the-dark paint, well, you're obviously going to see it in the dark. And that will be a perfect landmark to, I don't know, to find stuff. And for whatever reason, that was not the right thing. Okay, okay, I got mixed up again because on the guide, glow-in-the-dark paint is the one on the bottom. However, here, I guess it's randomized, so this is glow-in-the-dark paint. I really gotta pay more attention there. Boom. What if their landmark was covered in glow-in-the-dark paint? That way they have been able to see if the knife in the dark. You see? Both the knife that we found under a table and the packing tape that was stuck in the underside was covered in that kind of paint. Does that mean that the culprit painted them in advance? But that would mean, wouldn't they need to have known in advance that the power would go out? They must have known. That's probably why they used glow-in-the-dark paint as a landmark. That means whoever caused that power outage is our culprit. Well, that's it then. The culprit's the one who's in the room with the circuit breakers. In other words, it's you, Pekoyama. Huh? Pekko killed Togami? We're losing both our glasses-wearing characters? I never really realized that. I am not the culprit. She says she's not the culprit. Don't believe people so easily. But I don't think Pekoyama is tall enough to reach the fuse box in that office. That's a tiny problem. That doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you, Pekoyama flipped the breakers and caused that blackout. Pekoyama, who was in the office, flipped the breakers and cut the power. Is that really what happened? Oh no, I'm getting something new. What is this? In this next discussion, we introduce blue weak points. Oh, what the hell does that mean? Up until now, the weak points that appeared before you indicated where you could prove or claim wrong. These blue weak points, on the other hand, indicate where you can prove it right. Oh wow, okay. Hitting these argument points with an evidence bullet may require that you reverse the way you thought so far. You are not trying to destroy an opponent's lie or inconsistency, but rather to prove with an evidence bullet that what they are saying is correct. Shoot an agree point with an evidence bullet to make them work in unison and reveal the truth. Please ignore the fact that the metaphor does not work. Whether a given discussion calls for refutation or corroboration is up to you to reason out. Wow, okay. I'm liking, yet afraid of all these new points, because this makes the game a little bit more harder for me. So we got Hidai's testimony, Hanamura's testimony, and Nanami's testimony. Okay. Pekoyama was in the office, and so so she could cause a power outage anytime she wanted. No, that was impossible. Eh? Why so? Because I wasn't in the office. From before the outage until after it was over. What about your role as a guard? I apologize. But saying you weren't at the office, that's just a lame excuse under pressure, isn't it? Okay. It's true, it's easy to suspect Pekoyama after hearing this kind of testimony, but there was someone who revealed the true nature about what's going on during the investigation. And yes, it was. Now I just got... See, I'm gonna take a look, I'm gonna look at the... I know where the point is already, even before looking at the thing, but it's basically, she said before the outage, she wasn't there. And somebody did claim that, I just gotta find out who it was real quick. Let me look at the evidence. So apparently that's the correct thing. And I am not on it. No. That doesn't look like it either. No, yes it does. Woo! Okay. So this is Nidai's testimony. He said... Oh, crap. Oh, didn't mean to do that. He said that, she wasn't there. So, boom, there you go. I concur. Alright. I concur. I think Pekoyama's telling the truth here. Oh, I get it. You've fallen for her, haven't you? That's not it. Nidai's testimony is her alibi. And he says so. He's been trying to use the nearest crapper, but it's been used for throughout the entire party. It's true. Someone had been making exclusive use of the toilet since just after the party started. It was finally vacant again after we found Togami's body. Ah, so maybe the person who was in the toilet is... Everyone except Pekoyama was in a big hall after the party started, right? I get it. If someone's been locked in the toilet the entire time, it can only have been big sis Pekoyama. This is true. You were in there the whole time? Why didn't you just say so at the start? How could she have said anything? Don't you know anything about delicacy? If she's been there for such a long time, there can be no doubt. It was shit. Of course you didn't say anything. You can't just come out and say you were taking a shit. Hey, has no one ever taught you about delicacy? Are you living in a country with no women? I apologize. It's fine. More importantly, can we please stop talking about this? Well, nevertheless, I can attest that it didn't stink too much. I can testify to that, since I was in there right after you. Please, just let it go. But you sure were in there for a really long time. Did you have stomach trouble or something? Immediately after I came to the office, I was overwhelmed by the intense pain in my stomach. That is why I couldn't leave the toilets, even during a power outage. Hey, how did it feel when it suddenly became dark as you were doing your business? Was it unexpectedly exciting? Will you just stop it? But, was that stomachache really a coincidence? What do you want, Mr. Nothing to do with me? You want it out, so why don't you keep out? You idiots are all so unreliable that I thought I'd put my word in. Enough foolishness. You question a supposed coincidence. What do you mean? I mean, it's possible that someone spiked her food of laxatives. Laxatives? By doing that, someone could force her to leave the office and then take advantage of that opening to flip the breakers. I see. So that was the trick they used. Was Pekoyama's stomach trouble a coincidence, or did someone do it to her on purpose? The story is going to change drastically depending on the answer to that question. And the thing is, I think one of my suspects is... It's starting to look more right now. Whatever. So we got the embarrassing pose, the party food, the knife, the air conditioner timer, and the night vision goggles. How about it? Did you eat anything weird? No, I don't believe I did. Well, speaking of which, Pekoyama, when you left for the office, you took with you some food, did you not? Yes, I took a portion of the party food with me. There must have been laxatives in the food, right? How suspicious! Tero made that food. I would never do such a thing. I mean, spiking the food ruins its taste. Was Pekoyama's stomachache just a coincidence, or did something cause it? First, we have to make that clear. Okay. And we'll make that clear. I just gotta take a look at the evidence bullets again and make sure what's what. Okay. So it's this one. Alright, so what's his name? He's saying there must have been laxatives in it, right? Well, yeah, let's take a look at the party food real quick. Did I miss? There it is. That wasn't it? Son of a... why game? What must you do this to me? That looks like the thing, does it not? Let me go back to the thing. Go. Wait. Okay. I really gotta think about this a little bit more. No. How do I... Okay. That is a statement I had to press on. I know that for a fact. Now, obviously, I'm just using the wrong evidence thing. Sure enough, I think I... Wait a minute. That doesn't... That ain't it. No. Okay, let's do that one again. Okay, this looks like the correct thing. I'm really gonna have to take my time with these things now. There we go. It's the simple stuff I'm missing here, and if the game's gonna get harder and harder after this, I'm worried on how things are gonna happen here. No, it's impossible the party food contained any laxatives. I mean, it wasn't just Pekoyama who ate the food. Owari did too. Ah, that is true. See, I was kind of thinking about it and he died because he had some problem. Like, he had issues too, but he didn't even eat yet. So that's making me think what happened. If someone put laxatives in their food, Akane should have also had stomach trouble. I'm feeling as healthy as an ox. I told you, the food had nothing to do with it. Don't go making weird accusations like that. I'll apologize for leading you astray. It's Kazuri who should apologize. He's the one who came up with the idea. What was that, asshole? Stop this fighting at once. So, if Pekoyama's stomachache was just a coincidence, then how about we go back to talking about the blackout? Sure. You don't have to spell everything out, you dirty bitch. What the hell? So, never mind. Dirty bitch! Okay. Just saying that weird. Never mind. If the murder took place during the blackout, the mystery of that blackout must be important. In that case, we must make it clear why that power outage happened. So we're getting another thing going on here. So we have Nanami's testimony and Nidai's testimony, irons in the storage room, the tablecloth in the storage room, and Hanamura's testimony. Okay. Who flipped the breakers and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'll pinch you in the forehead. Perhaps they threw a stone at the fuse box? They must have used a remote control, right? The fuse box must have been tampered with somehow. It might not have been a fuse box at all. It is possible that power lines or the power transmission has been tampered with. Maybe we were just using too much power? I say Monokuma did it. By the way, I am not a dirty bitch. Oh, well, of course you're not, Sumiki, but, you know, Sayonji is, well, she's the bitch, really. How did the culprit flip the breakers at the old lodge? I think I have some clues regarding the question already. Alright, so I got to use... Yep, okay. Now, this does kind of go along with what I was thinking, where all those irons were plugged in, the timers were set in the air conditioner unit, so I think that, yes, there was too much power being used, so that's the point we need to use it at. However, at this point, I gotta make sure that I'm using the right thing for, the right evidence, and I think I am. But I was gonna wait for a Koizumi's thing. No. Sonia, Koizumi. This should be it. There you go. See what happens when I take my time? I get things correct. It's just like Koizumi said, the power outage happened because too much power is being used. It wasn't a coincidence though. Someone triggered it on purpose. They used those irons in the storage room for that, didn't they? when you found them immediately after a power outage, they were all plugged in and turned on, right? So someone set up those irons purposely to draw enough power to trip the breakers? Yeah, by using the irons, the culprit used an outage and... You fool! Aw, damn it, I don't want to fight you. Hold it right there. I have something to say. What is it? Are you saying the irons in the storage room triggered the power outage? I cannot allow such foolishness to pass unchallenged. Why not? Well, it seems that we're gonna have to take on Midai with his counter argument here, and we'll begin to do that in the next episode, guys. Because I'm gonna have to read up a little bit and make sure I'm prepared for the thing, but you know, whatever. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Super Danganronpa 2. I'll see you guys later.